November 2024, the International Criminal Court issues an arrest warrant, allegations of war crimes and crimes against humanity. The accused, a sitting prime minister in Israel, tens of thousands dead in Gaza, more than 1,000 dead in Israel. But this story doesn't start with war. It begins with a single death. Almost 50 years ago, July 4, 1976, in Entebbe Airport, Uganda, Air France Flight 139, 248 passengers, hijacked by Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, EFLP, on June 27. Israel sends in Sayeret Matkal, its most elite special forces unit. The mission? Rescue the hostages. Leading the operation is Lieutenant Colonel Benjamin Netanyahu. The raid lasts about 90 minutes. Over 100 hostages are rescued, but one man does not make it back. Benjamin Netanyahu is killed during the operation. He is 30 years old. His younger brother is 5,000 miles away studying at Harvard. He gets the call, and everything changes. His name is Benjamin Netanyahu, an MIT graduate, business consultant, fluent English. He once seemed destined for a career in the private sector. But he had also served in Sayeret Matkal, the same unit as his brother. He knew what that mission had meant. Years later, he would say, "My brother's death changed my life and directed it to its present course." He leaves his studies in the United States, returns to Israel, and begins a new path in politics. He becomes Israel's ambassador to the United Nations, confident, articulate, defending his country on the world stage. Elected to the Knesset with the right-wing Likud party, at 46, he becomes Israel's youngest ever prime minister. But it is a turbulent time. His predecessor, Yitzhak Rabin, has just been assassinated after pursuing peace with the Palestinians. Netanyahu's government takes a harder line. His first term ends after 3 years, marked by economic struggles and political tension. He spends a decade in opposition. Then in 2009, he returns to power. His second term lasts 12 years, the longest in Israel's history. During that time, Israel's economy grows rapidly. Tech startups flourish, earning it the title Startup Nation. He strengthens ties with the United States. Under the Trump administration, the U.S. recognizes Jerusalem as Israel's capital. In 2020, the Abraham Accords bring formal relations with several Arab nations. At home, he expands Israel's defenses, including the Iron Dome missile system. Supporters call him King Bibi, crediting him for making Israel more secure. But controversy follows. He faces corruption investigations for bribery and fraud. Mass protests erupt. He proposes judicial reforms critics say would weaken the courts. The protests grow, but he holds firm. He returns for a third term, leading what analysts call Israel's most right-leaning government to date. Tensions with Gaza continue. Then, on October 7, 2023, Hamas launches a large-scale attack. Militants cross the border and take hostages. Around 1,200 Israelis are killed. Israel declares war on Hamas. The fighting is intense and widespread. Much of Gaza is destroyed. Tens of thousands of Palestinians are killed, many of them civilians. Hospitals and schools are damaged. Humanitarian aid struggles to reach those in need. International pressure mounts for a ceasefire. The United Nations and the United States urge restraint. Netanyahu insists the war must continue until Hamas is eliminated. By late 2024, the civilian death toll exceeds 60,000. The International Criminal Court issues a warrant for his arrest, alleging war crimes and crimes against humanity. Israel rejects the accusations, calling them politically motivated. Netanyahu remains in office. Here's what we know. A brother dies in 1976 during a daring rescue operation. A younger brother turns that loss into a lifelong mission. He rises to power, leads his nation for nearly 2 decades, and becomes one of Israel's most influential and divisive leaders. But history will decide how that mission and its consequences are remembered.